Hi, it's Christine here. I'm not very dressed up and I look like a slob right now because I worked all night last night for 12 hours and have just been sitting here painting, and I had worked out and I haven't had a bath yet. So you're not seeing me on camera today. You are seeing a canvas that I have been working on. I do face painting, and I had originally started doing it at a historical rendezvous in Aitkin, Minnesota. So I had intentionally started on a poster years ago that was based on kind of an old style poster that you would have found back in the time of, like Wild Bill Hickok and stuff like that. So I figured during this video I'd just keep working on it, and it gives you guys something colorful to look at. Like I said, this one I did about 4 years ago on the face. My faces have evolved a lot since, but my eyes get a little spooky. And this gal here, this canvas is very big. You can see the size of my hand and brush. This canvas is quite large, and this gal will stare at you down the hallway. It's really entertaining. I've spooked a lot of people with her. Anyway, I'm getting ready to work on a butterfly on this canvas, and hence the reason why I am doing this video. It's not for the painting part. It is to talk about the butterfly a bit. I've had people come up to me, one lady in particular who actually was not, definitely not pagan. She's very much Catholic. And she was talking to a friend that happened to be in the room about this dream that she had about a butterfly before she started these Catholic classes and stuff. And she said that she was pretty stunned by the whole thing, and then later on, as she was outside, a butterfly had just flown by and lighted on her hand. And she had just been through an icky divorce like I had and stuff, and was just pretty much surprised by the whole thing. And so I got to talking to her about what the butterfly means. I could not keep my mouth shut, unfortunately, which you'll find out I have very much a good trait of not being able to keep my mouth shut. So I went and it was a monarch, and of course the reason I'm painting the monarch on this, of course, is because I am a Minnesota artist, and it's kind of a Minnesota butterfly. Unless you're in Mexico, then it's a Mexican butterfly, and a species that is actually having trouble. So anyway, the butterfly in itself, as you know, there is a lot about metamorphosis with this insect. If you see them in a dream or have a vision where you have the vision of the butterfly, that means that is a change coming in yourself. Before that, of course, they start out their babyhood, so to speak, as this little thing that just is kind of stuck to the leaves it's on, and eats and eats and eats and eats and eats. And all it is doing is preparing for its future life. So if you see yourself in the caterpillar stage like that, yes, you are very much dependent on your current environment, but you are preparing for a future life. So if you're seeing yourself in the cocoon, of course, that is the time that you are in the middle of changing yourself. The cocoon, of course, is metamorphosis. And what actually happens is you basically, as another science video I'd seen, they talked about how you basically, inside the cocoon, you end up with being a bunch of undifferentiated stem cells. And that's it. It's kind of a stem cell soup. And that is pretty much what you can look at that as. So with that butterfly that will be coming later, in the chrysalis, everything's just kind of a mash up and a mix up, and you may feel very overwhelmed and not feel like yourself, and you might feel ugly because you think about it, that stem cell soup is not a pretty sight. The chrysalis itself may be beautiful, but it might be the gilded cage for you. So once you get past the gilded cage and you emerge from there, you are the butterfly. So what the symbol is you are going through a period of change. Generally with something like this, it's going to be a period of really good change, more than likely. You're going to be a more enhanced, more beautiful version of yourself, and that doesn't mean physically beautiful, even though, you know, most butterflies are very, very appealing to us, but it does mean that you're going to be a much more beautiful, enhanced version of yourself, whether that's becoming who you want to be or who you've dreamed of being. And I think at this point I have paint a little bit too wet to add another coat here. I'm getting too much of the green coming through. But anyway, that's kind of my thoughts. Just remember on the butterfly, though, they are extremely delicate. You can be delicate. The wings get damaged. They can die. They can be prevented from flying. So you want to make sure that you're not in a damaging relationship. You're not in a damaging environment. Once you've gotten your wings, don't fall back on your old habits. Don't fall back on those things that gave you pain before. Don't turn yourself back into that caterpillar, even though a real butterfly can't do that. You are capable of going back into the old habits that kept you down. That includes old relationships that have hurt you before. You can go back into those patterns once again. You know, the cycle of abuse. A person grows up in abuse and they continue on. They get into a relationship that continues that abuse, on and on like that. So when you see the butterfly, that is something that you need to take care of and keep in mind, is you do not want to put yourself back on that caterpillar stage and be that vulnerable again. But your freedom is very, very delicate, and it's fragile. And that's because you have to maintain your freedom. Just like the butterfly houses at the zoos, they maintain the grounds, they maintain the cages, they maintain the butterflies. You are the caretaker of yourself. You are the caretaker of that butterfly that you're becoming. And you have to keep that in mind. So anyway, that's my little bit on the butterfly today. Also, they can be a form, if you're really thinking about it, especially if you dream of a monarch butterfly, which that's not a very good monarch I did there. I tried to do folded wings. But if you dream of a monarch too, think about the gigantic journey that this butterfly makes. And they have some really weird detours along the way and stuff, like going south, they suddenly just head east and go over Lake Superior, and you're like, what the heck? But they take a really, really long journey. And not only are you looking at that freedom, but that freedom that you gained from getting those wings and that beauty you gained from gaining those wings, that's the journey that's probably the rest of your life. And it's a long ways to go, you know, but imagine the things you're going to see on the way. So keep that in mind. I'll probably have this painting up later at another time with a finished butterfly for you guys. Right now I got to let the acrylics dry a little bit before I can continue on. So you guys have a great day. Blessed be everyone.